What's up, everybody? This is your boy, Labelle. You are tuning in to Jigga Set Radio. We're going to have a vibe and have a good time.
What you see now on the internet? Nah, I was listening to Jigga Set. Oh, I be listening to every show, keeping me all in the know on Jigga Set Radio. What you see now on the internet? Nah, I was listening to Jigga Set. Oh, I be listening to every show, keeping me all in the know on Jigga Set Radio.
What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Jigga Set Radio. We've been on hiatus for a little while, trying to reset. You know, sometimes you got to take a step back to reset, grow, and learn from the experiences. But nonetheless, the conversation continues. So we're here with another guest. His name is Labelle. Y'all make some noise for Kai, y'all. Y'all make some noise.
Thank you for having me, bro. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem, man. So before we got here and started, doing our recordings and things like that, I was telling him that there's a game that we started playing on the show. So be sure y'all tune into that, because that's going to be fun, because we're going to come up with some questions for each other. Before it was kind of more one way, but this time it's going to be like a buy one, get one. Like, you shoot some, I'll shoot some, and we're going to figure it out. But welcome to the show, bro. How you doing, man?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm pretty good. All things considered, it's a little gloomy outside, but that doesn't matter. The train keeps going, so...
Listen, that weather last night was crazy. I was not expecting that at all.
But that's typical springtime for Texas. So.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
So, typical standard question I always ask everyone that comes on the show. Tell us your name and where you're from, and we'll go from there.
All right. Well, everybody, my name is Labelle. I'm originally from El Dorado, Arkansas. It's a small town in South Arkansas. I'm a country boy at heart. But actually moved on and, went a little city and actually was raised and also lived in Tacoma, Washington, also known as Seattle, Washington, to people that don't know Tacoma. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. I'm a country boy, from Arkansas going all the way to Tacoma, and now I'm here in Dallas, Texas. So
we're going to break that down. So
yeah.
Tell us about your humble beginnings in Arkansas. Like, how was that lifestyle? Because we're trying to paint a picture for everybody.
Yeah.
So tell us about that beginning, and we'll make our way out.
Man, I mean, it's not too much of it. I was there for a few years after I was born, so I didn't have too much time to necessarily kind of transition out. But I had a few years there. My parents decided that they wanted to move just for a better living. And, people that do know about Arkansas, there's not much there. And especially for a kid, a creative, talented kid growing up, there's not too much outlets for me to, really get into. So really it was kind of the move, like the parents was saying, hey, let's kind of move and, get in a better environment to raise our kids and all of that. And, I wasn't the only, I'm the fourth of 5 siblings.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So it was more so like, let's get our children to a different environment that's a little bit better, move right to the West Coast. But yeah, that was the kind of the story of it. But Arkansas is just a really small town, so there's not much there. So, there wasn't that many experiences, like a little bit here and there.
Yeah.
A lot of my family are from there,
Mm-hmm.
but they're kind of spread out now. So it's not always like that now.
Yeah.
They're in different places now, kind of spread out. But yeah, that's kind of like the origin of it, with me moving.
Yeah. And so how often have you gone back to visit home? Have you gone there?
Not as much.
Really?
The only thing is it's even worse now. Like, a lot of people that are there, they've moved out. Like, it's to the point where it's like, either you stay there and ride or you get up and go. So even for me, if I grew up in Arkansas and, at my age now, if I did live there, I would already leave, because it's that kind of place. Like, you either go there to retire or you go there to just, you just want to sit around, just not do anything.
Yeah.
I just feel like that's kind of the place it is. I'm grateful for it. Obviously, like, I've learned a lot of things, also I've learned kind of how I've come to be just from that place. Because I've lived on the West Coast. I've understood that, but country living or living in the South where there's not much and you kind of use what you have, that's kind of like my upbringing. Like you use what you got, you kind of really go from there.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like really like the backstory of that.
Yeah, no, for sure. I definitely get it. Our humble beginnings. So you transitioned around what age would you say you transitioned to Tacoma, Washington?
I think it was around, if I'm not mistaken, probably 3 or 4.
Oh, okay. So yeah, very, very early.
It was very short. It was like, we about to get you out of there.
You say you're the second youngest?
I am the
You said 5. Yeah,
the fourth out of 5.
Okay.
So I'm actually the middle child, but I'm actually the youngest son out of all of the siblings.
Oh, okay. Okay. So when you transitioned to Tacoma, how long were you there living in Tacoma?
I was there until I was about 20, and then I moved to Dallas.
Oh, okay, so you have plenty of memories you can pull from
yeah.
that. Okay, so tell us about the moving from the country to Tacoma, and how would you describe, for those that haven't been to the Seattle metro area, like how would you describe that area? Like, is it night and day compared to Arkansas?
It's totally different. The weather, like how it's been here, it rains a lot in Washington State. It's always raining. When I tell you, like, it can make people depressive because it's always raining. But the scenery is nice. Like, there's a lot of trees, a lot of forest. Like, it's nice for nature. If you're really into nature, you like hiking, you like skiing, anything pertaining to nature, like walking trails, like it's really good for that. So it's like that now. It's becoming a melting pot. So there's a lot of Asians, there's a lot of even Russians I've met there too. So it's a melting pot. There's a lot of Samoans there. So really when I actually lived in Washington is where I was able to kind of open my horizon to different people, to different cultures. I grew up around a lot of Hispanics, Latinos. I grew around a lot of, like I said, Samoans. So I had a good variety. Yeah. So that was the good thing about me living there is that I had the variety.
Yeah. So what would you say was the pivotal moment in your creative realm? Like when did you start identifying yourself officially as like a creative?
Well, it actually started I'll say like when I actually moved to Washington is when I noticed it. So honestly, and I feel like it could be almost cliche or kind of redundant, but I had my beginnings in church. Okay. A lot of people can say that, where they get the musical history background from. But I actually started very early. Obviously, a lot of people don't know. Fun fact is that, I would call myself a church kid prodigy. So, the family and a lot of my family lineage came from church. They were either pastors, bishops, superintendents, anything like that. So I got that start that way. But as I went through school, I created a love for it. I actually got into concert band. So I got classically trained as a trumpet player. Okay. So I don't just sing, to a lot of people that don't know, but I actually got started being classically trained to play trumpet. After that, I was like, well, I really want to sing. So I started studying a lot of the great singers that we all know. And from that, when I started going to church, I started getting the opportunity to lead songs and all that. Yeah. And I said, you know what? I think this is really what I want to do. And that started probably around like 5 or 6.
You said your humble beginnings, of course, started in Arkansas. You moved to Tacoma. Church boy deemed yourself as a prodigy within the church community. What was like your breakout song in church? What was like the song that you knew, like, all right, it's only gonna go up from here? Like, what was that moment for you in church? Because everyone has like that breakout moment where they're like, you know what? Let me explore this more. Like, what was that for you?
Yeah. So I actually, I was in a children's choir, And they noticed that basically I had a gift. It's like there's something about him. So I ended up being upgraded to the adult choir. And they had what they call a convocation or a convention, if you will. And it's a big service where everybody comes together from different churches. From that, I actually had a song that I actually knew, and someone that I was influenced by as a kid that was a gospel singer his name was Bishop Richard White, and it was called Lord, You've Been Good. So basically they said, hey, we want you to sing this. I didn't think it was going to be a big thing of it, but they recorded it. And after that, like people just started coming up to me after I sung that song.
Yeah.
It was like a whole big thing. Like after people were like, wow, like you're so amazing. Like we want you to do this. Some people started giving me money. Like it was like that. Like I was like I can actually do something with my voice.
Yeah.
Because it kind of switched people. And me as a kid, I was probably like 11 or 12. And it was like people that were 40 plus.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's something about you, like you really have a talent that vocally where it's like, it's more than this room,
right.
this church or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's really when I knew for sure, or when a lot of people around me knew, like, yeah, it's kind of going up from here.
Yeah. So I've had a couple of guests on the show that also started in the church and had a similar story to what you had, and they mentioned that this is their pathway. A couple of them did mention crossing over, right? So when you started in the church, and we've seen it in the gospel community, you rock with that genre, and then controversy comes up when you start to break out, and go to more secular music. Did you have that issue when you decided you wanted to explore your creativity? Did you ever have that resistance in the people in the church community?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, must be a story there.
Oh, it's a story. I got a story to tell. But honestly, yeah. Unfortunately, I mean, as a young teenager at the time, I just loved music.
Yeah.
But as I grew into it, I started to be influenced by different genres, by jazz, by R&B, by neo-soul, all of that. People like Ella Fitzgerald, Erykah Badu, all these different people that, I've been influenced by. And Missy Elliott, I listened to all of that growing up as a teenager. So I was like, okay, there's more than just gospel. There's more than just church.
Exactly.
So as I actually stated that, like, hey, I want to do more, it became an issue where I got demonized for it. Snapping my fingers, doing like jazz scat runs or whatever. I was penalized for it. You can't do that. You can't do this. I've grown up in a very judgmental religion or space and environment where I couldn't express or be able to merge over like that. So it was really hard for me because really now I rarely do gospel like that. I do a little bit every now and again because people have known me, like I said, because they know me for gospel, the jazz, the bluesy type of sound. Yeah. But I've gotten into R&B, I've gotten into pop, I've gotten into doing different other genres of music. And for me, like, I enjoy and respect all music because, music is a universal language, as I say. But, anyone that has an ear for music, they would understand that it's not just confined to one genre or one style of music. Right. So there was a lot of setback and there was a lot of issues I've had. Like, you wouldn't even be successful merging over into secular, ungodly music. You can't even make it. But somehow I've succeeded and went over that for some reason. So,
now, the people that was doing the quote unquote hating or the commenting, if you will, trolling, would you say were just general members of the church, or was it some more resistance from family?
I actually got it from both ends.
Okay.
The worst, and I'll say to even the audience, the worst hate or judgment you can get is from your own people.
Yeah.
From those that look like you, from those that sound like you or look like you. some of the ones that are even in your own household.
Mm-hmm.
I've had those that I even was born under that, like I said, you know, treated me as if like I couldn't do it. Like I said, I couldn't succeed.
Yeah.
It wasn't just church members that I wasn't born under or I wasn't, you know, living in the same house. A lot of it was the ones that were actually in the same household as.
Yeah.
Which, you know, it did hurt me at the time, but I realized they couldn't see something that I, you know, they can't see what I can see.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people can't really see what you can visually or mentally see, you know, within your own self. And so a lot of times they project because they don't see it for themselves.
Right.
But yeah, it's been my own people,
Mm-hmm.
you know, where I've gotten hurt the most within my genre, within what I do, all of that. I've gotten the most scrutiny, you know, from them.
Does anyone else in your family have some type of talent aside from yourself? Like, did you get your talent from your dad, or is it one of those things that you or mom, or was it one of those things that you just kind of discovered that you had, and maybe a sibling had it? Like, who else is inclined in your family?
There's a good amount of talented family members that's within my bloodline that are really good. Surprisingly enough, kind of like far back history, I didn't know that there was a connection that I had with blues and B.B. King, not knowing that he was my long lost family member.
Mm-hmm.
So I've had that. And then it kind of trickled down where I've had, you know, family members, they played the drums, they played the bass. So I have a history of where I got much of the love for it, or where I've been able to really see, like, you know, wow, like this is what I want to do. Is my mom.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
She was the performer, the singer, where, you know, people in the church or people that that knew our family, like, yeah, that's the girl right there. So for me to be able to do that same thing, or, you know, be able to sing and perform, they knew exactly, you know, where it came from.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's other family members that are really good. Like, they can sing, like, I can tell, but they just haven't necessarily taken it to the next level of doing it professionally.
Okay, so they're more casual with it.
Yeah.
Or do you think it's because, well, you mentioned that they maybe don't have the drive to, like, take it to the next level? Is that what I'm hearing?
It's fear.
I mean, but when you're in this industry, you're always going to be at the mercy of someone's comments or just general resonation towards something. Like, how do you persevere? Like, how do you push through that versus seeing someone with talent in that really utilizing it? Like, how do you manage that?
I mean, for me, I let myself know I'm not doing this for other people.
Right.
When I had the love for the music and when I started doing this as a child, it wasn't to please anybody. It was really to please myself and really express. Like, that was a way for me to express. That was a way for me to really, you know, feel some type of bliss or, you know, happiness. So if there's any setbacks that I have, I always ask myself, or, you know, really bring back, why am I doing this?
Right.
Now, like I was, you know, bringing about fear, you know, some people just have fear of, like, of how it could go, or maybe the fear of, like, oh, I could be successful and I don't want to, you know, I don't want to cause any issues with my family, or how are people going to think about me? I try not to think about it. I have my moments where I do, and I'm not lying at all. Like, I have my moments where it's like, am I really going to be successful doing this? Like, you know, people told me that I can't make music doing this. I can't, you know, make money. Like, it's, you know, it's not really the place for me. But I really think about why, like the why.
Yeah.
Like, why do I do this? Like, I know it's passion, like, without a dollar to it.
Right.
It's what I wanted to do before. So that really helps me to, you know, keep doing this.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Well, we're definitely going to learn more about your artistry, your style, and all that stuff. I'm going to take a quick break. We'll be back with Kai, and then you guys just hang tight. We'll be right back. All right? Cool.
Yeah, I wanna go with you if you're going with me. Take me to that place where I wanna be.
Welcome back, guys. We had a couple technical difficulties, but we figured it out. So we still here with Kyle. Y'all make some noise. How you feeling, man? You went into some deep stuff with regarding like your upbringing and like dealing with transition over to secular music, and so how you feeling about like getting that all out, putting it out there? You good with that?
I mean, honestly, I haven't had a moment to fully, publicize it on a bigger scale.
Yeah.
I mean, I've talked to, those in my circle.
Yeah.
Just keeping that personal because, a lot of people don't know. So,
yeah.
I mean, but I've had the opportunity to do it on this platform. So I'm grateful for it. So,
well, see, hey, we're happy that
we my therapy session.
Yeah, this is there. And it's so funny you say that because a lot of times when people come on the show, they end up saying something or resonating with something that either they said themselves or something I said or production says, like it hits them differently. And so it's different when they like lively emote.
Right.
And they feel vulnerable but free. Like being able to accept whatever it is that they've been running from or haven't been paying attention to. Like it's always a great thing seeing someone like shift their mindset for the greater good, of course.
True.
So when we left off, we were talking about you really giving us a deep dive of your entry into the music industry. So let's talk about what that first looked like after you left the church and you started going into the music industry. Like, how was that getting acclimated into that industry? How was that for you? Oh, cheers, by the way. I feel like we don't need that.
The start into that, I mean, it like I said, it wasn't the smoothest, just merging from, as they say, religious over to secular. It wasn't easy. But I actually got my start doing open mics. That's kind of how I got my start. I said, hey, you know what? Like I had the thought and the idea, like, hey, like, let me go and, have a room to really express myself. So I started going to open mics where they did the jazz, they did the pop, neo, so all of that.
Yeah.
And when I tell you I was really passionate about it. I wasn't getting paid at the time. Like this was way before I started making money or like doing music or anything. Like I started doing open mics, like not getting paid at all. Just like literally, I was in Seattle. I would take the train. It was like a link that they call in Seattle. I would take the link like an hour and a half. Like I was so dedicated. Like I would take an hour and a half like train. Like all the way to, I remember the city in Washington, but it was like this bluesy jazz venue called Blue Note. A lot of people that know me, like know my start. Y'all know the Blue Note over there somewhere in Washington, somewhere, child. But the Blue Note was my start where I started doing open mics and people started noticing me like, hey, like, he's really good, but on the other side of, not just gospel. Like I started doing that. And then after I started getting connected to a lot of, producers and artists and I guess engineers that were really into the industry like that. And so, like I said, they noticed that gift as well and talent and basically said, that, I should do more with it. So I had an opportunity to meet someone during a really dark time in my life, actually, to record a song and co-write on it.
Okay.
That I did. And so that's kind of how I got my start into that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, well, basically when you were taking the link out to the various parts of
the link, child. An hour and a half.
Would you say that was your way of going out there to find out who you are?
Yeah.
Outside of the realm of people, the bubble that your relatives, your closest people, they put you in. That was your way of popping the bubble and saying like, I'm breaking out and I want to create my own circle, my own resources. I want to be connected to the music industry in my way, not by what people think I should do.
Yeah. That was really my introduction into the industry. Mm-hmm. Learning about everything, like learning about the different genres, how they do stage, like how people perform, all of that. I mean, gospel, yeah, I've learned a lot of that, stage presence and all of that. But really, when I got into music business and when I got into show business, because that's a totally different thing that gospel or church does not teach you.
Yeah.
It's show business. And so I learned stage presence. I learned how to conduct myself in a way as a performer where it's like, okay, this is how you move. This is how you show yourself. So people that see me performing, that's how I learned it, from doing the open mics, from watching and observing other people.
Right.
But yeah, I've met a lot of people who were like, you know, this is kind of how you need to do it. You know, I've had a little bit of, you know, something in my ear telling me, or, you know, some people in my ear telling me like, you know, you should go this way. This is how you should, you know, kind of present yourself in a way.
Yeah. So
because you're not just the regular singer.
So essentially, the business case, the business side.
Exactly.
So what? So I'm going to ask this question because I feel like you have a good answer for it, or you have a story for it. A time where you were burned by taking someone's advice or doing something and was taking a risk, whatever the case is. Can you name a time in the music industry where you got burned?
I would say it was.
And were you still living in Seattle? Or
I was in Seattle at the time, and that's kind of
maybe this should be a Plead the Sip question.
That's a part of that segment I think you was talking about, but without saying no name. Yeah, that part.
Okay, no
but
name.
I'm here for it. You know what I mean?
We're gonna find you another question.
No, it's okay. It's okay. People need to know. You know, I didn't just arrive or, you know, just get to the place where I'm doing these things. I'm performing. I'm doing events. But I had a time in Seattle where it was actually my introduction into what I do now is the cover band or doing the corporate band scene where I'm doing weddings and all.
Okay, yeah.
That's a part of this. I guess the section of what I also do, not just original music.
Gotcha, yeah.
But cover bands and like doing weddings and singing, you know, with other people, not just me.
Yeah.
I was working with a band, trying to watch my words, you know, and I was working with the band and, you know, it was kind of like my start into it. It was for a wedding. And basically, I guess the band was had a reputation for, you know, scamming people and not doing the right thing and, you know, not paying people. So it was a wedding that I did, and, you know, basically I was like, hey, this is how it's going to go. You know, usually they say, this is what you have, you know, we're going to give you this for, you know, coming and performing, singing and whatever. Yeah. And I didn't hear anything from them after that.
Oh, wow.
Went completely silent.
So you actually did the work.
I did the work.
And then ghost.
And I didn't hear anything.
Damn.
And I did two events. I did 2 weddings with them. Didn't hear it.
Damn.
I didn't hear anything. And so, like you said,
you know who you are.
They're no longer doing that. That's all I would say.
Okay.
So, you know what I mean? Regardless, either way, you know, that happened. I got burned, but, you know, there was others in my circle within that band that was actually working with me, and they had the same issue. And, you know, let's just say they're not in that business right now.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair. That's fair. And sometimes it be lessons like that in life where it teaches you discernment. Yeah. And like looking out for things that forces you to rely on your gut, because there's certain things, certain conversations that you're not privy to, and certain things that happen, and you don't always have the control. Right. And so a lot of times, especially from other interviews I've had with other people, they really learn how to develop a discernment.
Discernment is a real thing, and, you know, I'm all about energy and discernment and how everything feels, like the room and all of that, and people, you know, and I'm very good at that. I've really, you know, feel like I picked up on that really easily since I was a child. I've noticed that. But, you know, at that time with that situation, I was getting into the industry. And for a lot of people that, you know, are getting into it, there's going to be times, and I feel like everyone that's starting out would have that first moment where they get burned or like, I don't want to do this again, you know? Now, granted, you know, from that experience, I've learned what to do and what not to do and what to ask for. Right. So even though I did get burned from that situation, I've learned a lot. And now from that, now I've gotten into the industry. Now I know a little bit better about that.
Right. Okay. So let's talk about where you are with your music now. So,
Let's talk about it.
yeah. So, for starters, when did you move to Dallas?
I moved to Dallas in, it was 2017.
2017.
I officially moved.
Okay. So you were here in Dallas, and you were also here in Dallas when COVID hit.
Yeah.
And we were talking about COVID a little bit earlier, and how people had to pivot and either be stagnant or make the best of it, right?
Yeah.
And so, talk to me about 2020. What was happening for you as an artist, or even just in general in 2020? What was that looking like for you when we were quarantining? How did you navigate that?
Well, honestly, surprisingly enough, that was actually one of the darkest times for me.
Mm.
I was actually in and out of Texas, between Texas and Washington. And a lot of people don't know, but I was actually going through homelessness at the time.
Oh, wow.
Like I was actually displaced in like everywhere, but where I wanted to be, like home. But it was a dark time for me, like going through homelessness and, like not knowing where I was going in life. Like I just know I wanted to do music. Like that's when I really realized, like, it's like I said, it's not about the money. It's not about whatever. Like I'm truly passionate about it because even during that time, I was finding ways to be creative.
Yes.
So during that time of 2020, that dark time that I was going through, I was actually creating music.
Mm-hmm.
And interestingly enough, I actually started songwriting during that time.
Nice. Okay.
So during 2020, I actually wrote my first song, Fly Away, that I just written out during that time that I was homeless. But during that time, like I said, I was, navigating, trying to figure out my life, trying to get, get the basics together, get my life together.
Yeah.
But I was also, having a healthy coping mechanism, anyway, an escapism, to basically get out of that, as well as trying to get my life together. I was also creating music and writing music. So during that time, it was rough, but that's when I actually really started finding outlets and finding ways and also people to create music. So that's what really happened during that time.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it really was, and that's really what I gained from it.
Yeah.
But from that dark time, and it's crazy because during dark times, I feel like that's when, like the light really is there. So even during that time, now that I look back at it and I talk about it, which I don't a lot, but now that I talk about it, it wasn't as dark as I thought, because really it was showing me like, this is who you really are without everything.
Yeah.
When everything is stripped from you.
Exactly.
When everything is, there's no lights, there's no nothing. I didn't have the shades on. It was just me. Like, this is just me. Like, this is what I wanted to do.
Exactly.
That's when I really found myself. That's when I, not really found myself, but that's when I really saw myself for who I was, who I really am.
Yeah. What, and I'm very proud of you being able to push through that wall, because a lot of people will get to that wall and not even know how to climb over it or find a way through. Like they'll just stop. Years can go by, and that same cadence, that energy they had towards the passion towards that industry will start to fade. But it's always interesting hearing how everyone found a way through, right? They persevered. They understood that this is the new assignment and this is how things got real, and I'm going to get real with it. So thank you for showing up for yourself.
For sure. And during that time, I also want to say, people really like to say like, hey, like, what is what is the thing that kind of saved you? What's the thing that really kind of helped you? Like, who was there for you?
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't a person necessarily. It was music that really kind of kept me pushing to keep going through life and dealing with all the shit that I was dealing with. You know what I mean? Like, it was music. It was me creating and, writing songs. Like, that was the thing that really kind of helped me during that time. Yeah. So, I'm grateful for it, but I'm here where I am now because of it. So
Absolutely. So we're going to take another break. We're still here with Kai. Y'all make some noise for him, because that was a good
Thanks.
story that he was vulnerable enough to share. I could not get that out of my life. He was able to share that and be in a good place with it. So, but we'll take a quick break and we'll be right back. Welcome back, guys. We are here with Kai. Y'all make some noise for Kai. So we were talking a lot about the stuff he was dealing with in the music industry, and we also mentioned at some point having discernment, understanding like how to deal with people, how to listen to your gut, to save you heartache and agony and money and time and all the above. So now we're going to get into something real fun. So we have a newer segment on Jig and Set Radio called Plead the Sip. And we've done this with a couple of guests in the past, but for those who are just tuning in, this is how this works. There's going to be a set of questions that both of us are going to ask each other. And if it is something that we want to answer, we'll answer it. If there's something that we don't want to answer, we'll just take a sip and then we'll just move on. So this is just meant to be kind of like an icebreaker to kind of get to know the interviewers that's happening on the camera. So how are you feeling about this segment? You nervous?
All I want to say is to the parents and the children watching, cover your children's ears. You know what I'm saying? But no, I'm excited for it. It's gonna be great.
Okay. Well, let me go ahead and unlock my phone so we can load these questions. So, now earlier I was chuckling because I was trying to phrase a question a certain way, and then when I figured it out, I started laughing. I'm saying, "Oh, this is my catching my off guard. This is gonna be great." So, and so, of course, we'll have the questions on the screen, and there'll be like a little timer situation to see how long it takes us to answer these questions. So, the polished version is gonna be polished. So,
all right.
all right. So,
Man.
Question number one from the J side. Have you ever been on a song and thought, yeah, this ain't coming out?
Put my shades on.
Bruh.
Put my shades on. Do I want to answer that or I want to sit? I love everybody. I just want y'all to know I love y'all. I'm gonna sit back. I don't want to talk about it. Not that one.
All right, bet.
I love all of y'all though.
All right, it's your go. You can go. Now you take the shades back off.
I'll put it on in a minute. What's a pet peeve that you have that grinds your gears?
Oh, I have several. I don't have a sip on that one. I hate. So one of the things about me, I like to be generally punctual when it's stuff. If I have to contribute to something, if it's a project or something, if there is something that I have to contribute, I don't like being late. I will hope the other person would feel the same way, but what I run into a lot of times, people don't have that same reciprocity, and I don't like to. I have a thing. If you say you're just gonna show up in general, that's fine. As long as you don't put a timestamp on something, it's like, okay, I'm gonna just see you when I see you. The moment you say, oh yeah, I'm gonna be there around 4, and then when we get close to 4, there's been no updates. Yeah. Say I'm running behind on nothing, and then it's 5:30, you just showing up. And again, if you have something to contribute to whatever the engagement is, that pisses hot passion I got. That pisses me off because like, don't tell me something and then don't give me no updates in between. And I'm just up here filling in the blanks like, oh, they must be in it. No, tell me because we're adults. So that's how I feel. That's how I feel.
Well, so my question on top of that, follow-up is what's your sign?
Oh, I don't have no problems. See, I have no
I'm
problems with that.
sad because I feel like that may kind of.
I'm a cat all day. Capricorn all day, baby.
Yeah, that makes sense. But I get that.
Yeah, no, I don't play about my time. Don't
Like, at
waste
least
my
communicate
time.
it. Like,
At least communicate it. No, I'm totally because I get shit happens. Like
Give an update.
There's things that we can't control
Right.
in lieu or leading up to a certain engagement. So
Yeah.
I would rather you just like give me a butt. Like just tell me what's going on.
You know, I just want to piggyback off of that. Without saying any names, the Dallas community, the Dallas, congregation,
Okay.
are really good at that. You know what I mean? And I come from a place where it's like, at least say something. You know, at least give an update. I try to at least give an update now. You know, I try to be as organized as I can. You know, hey, I'm
You're not
I'm
perfect, but yeah.
improving. I'm working on something.
Yeah.
What is perfect? Honestly,
Exactly.
what is it? But it's like at least give an update. But in Dallas, that's a real thing.
You know that might be a city culture. Like the time is just a concept.
There's a culture in different cities. Dallas, when it comes to that, and when it comes to support in these cliques, that's a whole different thing that we can go into. You know what I mean? But there's a culture to different places. That's what I'm saying.
Absolutely. No, you're right. You're right. You're right. You're
I
right.
respect that.
All right. Question 2 on the J side.
All right.
What genre do you say you do, but secretly you don't enjoy at all?
Woo! That's that's a hard one because I do a lot and I get hired to do these things. Now, for me to publicly say that I don't want to, but you know what? Honestly, some of y'all know that I don't like certain things. Y'all know. Those that know me. I don't like doing. I'm not a big country singer when it comes to doing covers. Now, let me preface by saying this. The reason why is because there's so much, that's a deep one. There's so much pressure on sounding like a country artist that there's no room for people to fully express like the sound and, like it has to be this certain type of sound. Gotta be, all day sound. You know what I mean? And yeah, I'm from the country or whatever, but it's like having to prove myself to somebody that, I can be a country artist when really anybody can do country. And there's a lot of, there's a controversy about who can do country, who can't do country. Now, the thing is, it's not set to a certain group of people, but we know who has originated that. Right. And the thing is, anybody can do it. So for me, I don't like, that's not my preference because the thing is, there's so much judgment on, you gotta sound like this person, you gotta, but the thing
we saw Beyonce go through that when she released her country.
My point exactly is that, there's this whole thing of, they can't do this. They're not fit to be a country. Or they're not fit to be this. They're not fit to be that. Even on gospel, I was like, you can't do jazz. You can't snap your fingers. You can't. But the thing is, anybody can do it if they have the ear for it.
Exactly.
What's your guilty pleasure? Could be anything. Guilty pleasure. A food, a thing that you something that you do, whatever. Guilty pleasure.
So growing up, I love chicken alfredo, and I was back in the day. So in college, when I was not so much a great cook, back then, I used to get the pasta, the fettuccine sauce from Walmart with the noodles, and then I would just go and cook some horribly dry chicken, throw it in there, and that was gonna be my little meal for like a couple of days. But I used to make that twice a week, and to this day, because I know I'm more health conscious, I'm more like aware of like how caloric that meal could be. I will not indulge. I'll probably eat it once a quarter now, versus twice a week, because I blew up Like I got super big eating pasta.
Literally, you can't.
Twice a week. Well, I should say I made it twice a week. That means I ate it probably 4 to 5 times in that week. So yeah, no, that's definitely one of my, like, to this day, like the aroma about it. It's something about that combination with that Parmesan radish. Yeah,
Lord have mercy.
yeah, it's that's what I'm on.
I try to stay away from it too. Gotta get you going.
All right, back on Jay's side.
All right.
What is the pettiest reason why you wouldn't work with someone else again? You ain't gotta name nobody's name.
Oh, I don't. I'm really good at that. One thing about y'all gotta know, I ain't gotta say no names, but y'all would know. What's the reason why?
The pettiest reason.
The pettiest
reason.
I got people that are in my field that watch me and all that, and they're gonna laugh at this. Listen, one thing y'all, I need y'all, let me take my days off with that. One thing I want y'all to know about me. When someone brings me some tea and it's hot, if I don't ask for it, I'm still gonna drink it. I'm still gonna drink the tea if it's given to me hot. One thing about it, listen, I'm gonna drink the tea. I don't ask for it. It just comes to me. I take it. There's certain people that I wouldn't work with because, you know, I've been given too much tea about them. You know, either they drink too much or they get into a whole bunch of scandals with other people that's in the industry. And for me, I don't like to be around, you know, too much mess. Like for me, when I'm going to perform or work, you know, it's for me like, hey, I'm going to do what I need to and I go home. Right. I have people that I'm cool with, and, you know, and a lot of y'all that, you know, we're close and like I can have a conversation even off stage. But if it's into their personal stuff and all that, I really don't like to get into that. That's one thing a lot of people need to know is that even though I may grab the tea and I may sip it a little bit, you know, I don't really like to get too much like, do you know what happened? Yeah. Leave me out of it. Showing your black card, what's like the most like, I guess, blackest or like most like African American, you know, like what's the most like blackest thing you've done or like eaten that's like, oh yeah, like he's black, you know what I mean? Blackest, there's people talking about revoking black cards. Like, what is your black card? It's like, oh, if I show you this black card, like you'd be like, oh yeah, he's definitely like that. Like, he's, you know.
So, I want to kind of remix that and say, what would be something that would get my car taken away?
I was thinking about that, but it's like, people don't ask like, okay, what is something, you know, but we can talk about
because that one is controversial. Like,
that's why I run it.
Oh no, I'm okay with it. So,
take it a sip.
So there is, no, I don't have to take a sip on this one. So, if we're out in the club, and I know, again, so if y'all don't know, I'm really big into DJ mixes, and I enjoy, like, I'm a big person on good transitions, good blends, songs that make sense, make you feel nostalgic. Like, I look at different categories when it comes to these things. And a lot of times, what a lot of DJs like to do is they'll play like a random white song or a random pop song in their transition phases. And in my mind, I'm like, oh, I wonder where they're going with this, right? And sometimes in their transition series, in their songs, it will be Party in USA by Miley Cyrus. And so I really, really, really like that song. Don't ask me why. So I really like that song, and like not only do I like it, I embody the song because I feel like a young individual with no cares. I don't have any bills, and it's just a party. Yeah, we just outside, and so when that song comes on, it's just like it transforms. I'm like, oh shit, here we go. I know the lyric like line for line. I'm like, I look like this big white dude out here just singing this song to his heart's content, and my friends be like, So we're gonna have a conversation later. I said, we ain't gotta have no damn conversation. We good. So just let me have my moment. Goddamn. But I feel like there's one pop song that be like, everybody be knowing and be like, you know what? You know, I don't do it all, but I fucks with it. Well, on the low key, I fucks with it. Like, I'll be talking shit, but I fucks with it low key. So, I think that's me. Because it was like, I know a couple of my friends, and I'm not saying no names, but they be like, they're like really big into like a lot of Britney Spears songs. And like, I didn't have that same.
I love over here on this side. I love, now, you know, say Britney Spears. We love Britney Spears over here. I love all of that, but go on.
No, I had nothing else to contribute other than everyone has their own like quirky quorums and things like that.
Yeah.
And it's like hard to judge when someone like, you know, goes into like this mode, like let them have a moment. Like,
Yeah.
It's okay. Like otherwise they cool.
Right.
But they had this little quirky moment and just let them have it. So that's mine. My Party in the USA by Miley Cyrus is mine.
I mean, you don't have to come to one of my shows because I mean, a lot of the females that, you know, that I sing with, they do it sometimes. So
Oh wow. Okay, nice.
you be lit, right?
Absolutely. I'll transform them like, boy, y'all know what y'all was doing today. And don't let me be sipping. I'm like, no, I know it. Yeah, y'all knew what y'all was doing today.
I've heard that song so many times. When I said that, I was like, oh God, like, yeah. I performed a lot on my live performances that I do with bands. Like that's a top song that a lot of people do like to hear, which I get it, you know?
Yeah. You're right. Okay. Well, y'all make some noise for Kai. He knocked those questions out. He didn't take a lot of sips.
I sure did.
All right, so we're gonna take another quick break and then we're gonna get into the new music that he has out. And don't go nowhere. We'll be right back.
Yeah, I wanna go with you if you're going with me. Take me to that place where I wanna be.
Welcome back, y'all. We're back with Kai. Y'all make some noise for him. He's been hanging in there. He did the trivia game with us. He answered some questions. I think he said only once. So, of course, we're in the last segment of the podcast, and definitely shout out to you for like being a champion and going through the different waves of emotions that came to this segment. Or this conversation, rather, starting off with the childhood, talking about the ups and downs of the industry, and then now coming full circle with like the fun side of you, answering those questions.
Yeah.
And now let's talk about current projects. So tell us about what you got going on and how people can follow you and get into.
Well, to everybody that's watching, I'm doing a lot. So I do live events as well, so you can catch a lot of my performances that I post. I'll be posting dates that I do, live events, so you'll be hearing cover songs of some of your favorite artists that I do. I'll be posting that on my socials. I actually have a new song called Euphoria. It's out now. You can check that out. My Instagram is the one and the only Kai Labelle, THEE. Kai, K-I, Labelle, as in Patty LaBelle, L-A-B-E-L-L-E. Facebook, Kai Labelle. Also be having the information for y'all to check out where you can listen to my music, all of that too. Just check out my socials for that. But yeah, I do live events, so you can catch me either doing cover songs that way, or you can go to my socials and check out Euphoria. I think you'll like it. It's a good R&B neo soul type of vibe. I've done also done a jazz song called Fly Away. You can check that out too. It's on my socials. But Euphoria is a new one. I think you'll really like it. It's a nice little vibe. You can drive, do a little, for people that's into late night drives, or you like to kind of vibe and like wind down, or sip a little glass of wine. Like, it's that type of song. So Euphoria definitely you should check out.
Alrighty, y'all make some noise for him.
Thank you.
And so, Is there, what would be like, before we depart, what would you say, what would be one message you would give the people that are watching right now? What would be something you would say to them? That's a person, not a person just in the music industry, as a human being. What would be some advice you give someone that's also trying to pull themselves up, and whether they came from the country or they came from the city and they're trying to get into the music industry? What would be something that you can leave with them and allow them to resonate with?
I would really say to a lot of you that's watching to never really listen to the people around you that's telling you that you can't do it. There's a lot of peer pressure, and there's a lot of, and I'm just being vulnerable. There's a lot of times where, like I said before, even your own people within your household will tell you can't do it. Tune out that noise, and to those that really have an ear to hear to what I'm saying, that little voice that's telling you to do it, that's what you should be doing. If it's almost becoming a nightmare where you're going to sleep and you wake up and it's like, it's calling me, I have to keep doing it. But they call callings, whatever, people that are non-spiritual, whatever, spiritual, that are, religious, not religious. There's that calling, there's that voice, there's that spiritual thing, there's that spirit within you that's telling you to do something. That's what you should do. If it's something that you're passionate about, it's something that you really want to do, I feel like that's what you should do. Tune out all the other noise and just listen to that voice within you. It's not outside of you, it's within you that's telling you to do that. That's what you should be doing. So just tune out that other noise. What they're saying is a projection of what they could not do.
Right, their insecurities.
It's their insecurity, their fears. It's all of the stuff that they could not do or were afraid to do. They didn't want to be in the spotlight, but you do. Go for it.
Absolutely. Y'all make some noise for him. Hand claps for that, because that was deep, honestly. With that being said, we appreciate y'all for watching. We hope that you got to like, share, subscribe, and comment on this and all the other episodes on the platform. And until next time, we bid you adieu. Take care, y'all.